I'm Stephen Willis. I'm a spoken word artist from Chicago, Illinois. I'm from the South Side. I grew up particularly in the neighborhood of Beverly, the Beverly Morgan Park area. Lived there for most of my entire life before moving here to New York to pursue a creative writing degree from Breuckelen College. I've been doing spoken word poetry for about 7 years now. Started when I was 15. Since I was very young, I always was compelled in telling stories. I mean, not even always my stories, about stories of other people or stories that came to my head. And of course, everyone from my community either wanted to rap or play basketball. So when I realized that my handles were not very good, I fell in love with poetry because it was something that seemed to tap in more instant. And spoken word poetry particularly because there was a chance to stand on stage and get clapped for. So the pompous side of me sort of kind of ran to that. And so one of the reasons why I began to become a writer is because I wanted to get some of that weirdness out of me, and sort of kind of speak to other individuals who felt that they were multifaceted, that they weren't just, they didn't just love rap, but they loved old poetry as well. They loved Allen Ginsberg just as much as they loved, Jay-Z. Probably my most famous poem here in New York is one called Beat Writers, which I combine, sort of do a compare and contrast essay of the beat writer generations to the rappers of our day, and sort of kind of showing how they mesh together. How critics would say that it was without form, that it was shapeless, that it wasn't truly art, that it was too obscene. And sort of kind of showing how now we have our own breakbeat poets, we have our own break poets in this generation. They're writers who write poems to beats.
That bass vibrations can't be felt in the womb, with rock music fornicated with blues, the burst of the trap beat generation. The babies of boom, the quick with African traditions, and America's doom to sculptors of black culture. And your bohemian ways, your hedonistic approach, left this boy in a maze. Your b-boy counterculture was just more than a phase. It was the cardboard box in which we would raise and elevate to a freeze. D-boycocking for fiends, they'll take the mat to your noodle. If you reach for the cheese, they want the cream. Soliloquies of the grieved and the thieved, the beat writers who wrote poems to beats, the Kerouacs of the concrete, Ginsbergs to the curb, the William S. to their burrows, the masters of spoken word, Cassidy's of the cuckoo's nest and the ones flipping birds, who haiku the obscene, who free verse the absurd. There's no way you can reverse the bridge between the music and people we wrote, or the religious sons, guns, and we told. Just take note of the dope rhythmic quotes that can summarize the ethos of the young, gifted, and black growing a cutthroat, the ethnography of poverty that we coat, and metaphors and similes to help cope, and beloved communities that are deficient to hope. That's why the youth in the music elope. There's no way you can denote the syncopation that gave voice to the streets. So black ballers from the poet elite will hold the canonized seat right next to Solomon and Sinclair Belize, the beat writers who wrote poems to beats.